Yo, what's good people? Welcome back again to another podcast. On tonight's episode, I want to talk about becoming a Stoic, which leads into you being honest with yourself. As always, I'm your man, Yosef Isaiah Benjamin. Welcome back again to another podcast presentation of Yosef's 2 cents. And it is always an honor and a privilege to chop it up with you. So let us do what we always do, and let us sit down and let us reason together. Let's see who has joined the fray. On the Facebook, and YouTube side. As always, we have with us Brother Barron. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. And who else? There she is. Good evening to you, Lady Marla. Thank you for joining us, my dear. Always a pleasure. Listen, folks, we're going to get started momentarily. So sit, unwind, and relax, and we'll be right back after this. All right. Let's see who has joined us on the YouTube side. Sister James, good evening to you, and Elder James. Happy to have you with us tonight. Thanks for joining us. Once again, folks, thank you so much for joining us again on the Yosef's 2 cents podcast here. I hope that you have had a fantastic day. Let me make some adjustments right quick here before we go ahead and get things started. hope that having a fantastic and a beautiful Wednesday evening. Hope, and I do apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm still trying to get my Wi-Fi to stop acting so foolish. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Want to make sure that I don't mess anything up. I really don't want to mess anything up. One of these days, I won't be having these problems that I'm having now. I promise you, I am not going to have the problems that I'm having now. But as you all know, we all have to start somewhere. Let me set this right here. Everything is good. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Uh, both sisters are attending. I believe you're talking about Giselle and Nadia, right? I believe that's who you're talking about. Let me make sure I got everything straight. Can you all hear me? Hey, Jamal, tonight. And thank you for the reaction. Let me see. Just joining. J. Cole is joining us. Thanks for joining us. If you're still there. Okay, good. All right, Giselle. All right. Happy to have you sisters with us tonight. I'm not going to hold you very long. I'm a bit tired, and and I'm still recovering, kind of, from this head cold. Oh, it's Giselle. I apologize. I thought it was Naughty. Well, whoever's joined, all of you that are joining, thank you for joining us. I do appreciate you, your attending and being here tonight. I'm not gonna hold you long. I'm not gonna hold you long, but I am tired, and I need to go ahead and say what needs to be said, and I'm not gonna hold you long. Let's see who else. Lady Marla, I could be looking like a bum, and you will still pour out compliments. But thank you for the compliments, nonetheless. I appreciate it. All right. The topic of it again tonight for our podcast is becoming a Stoic and how to be honest with yourself. Eric, what's going on, bruh? Thanks for joining us tonight. I do appreciate you. Long time no see, and thanks for joining us. Who else has just joined us? I see here. Hey, Precious, what's going on? Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you, your husband, and the rest of your family is doing well. Happy to have you with us tonight. All right, look, I want to talk about being a Stoic and becoming a Stoic. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because in light of okay, in light of the turn of events that's been going on, especially in the world, with Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Russell Wilson. Oh, you're welcome, my sister. Anytime. My pleasure. Anytime. Look, look, I've come to the realization, especially with people trying to keep up with all the rest of these celebrities, I've come to the realization, even more so now, you can't save everybody. All right. And the reason why you can't save everybody is because, truth be told, they don't feel like they can be saved or they want to be saved. Now, before I go any further, let me do this right quick. Google, what is the definition of being a Stoic?
According to vocabulary.com, being stoic is being calm and almost without any emotion. When you're stoic, you don't show what you're feeling and you also accept whatever is happening. The noun stoic is a person who's not very emotional.
Thank you, Google. Appreciate it. Look, that's the definition of being Stoic. But however, I want to delve deeper into being a Stoic. Okay? Being Stoic to me means accepting the nature of how things and people are and how they are not. Because there are just too many people that still trying to get people to think one way or to be one way. And truth be told, in all sincerity and in all truth, there, you're just going to have to let people go. Family, friends, because let's face it, ladies and gents, we're at the point now where the Most High, I personally believe, he's separating the sheep from the goats, the wheat from the tares, the righteous from the unrighteous. Period. On the YouTube side, Sister James says, take your time, Reverend. She continues, she concurs. Yeah. I mean, look, it doesn't make any sense at all for people to have this Messiah complex. Because when you have the Messiah complex, all you're doing is killing yourself. You just making it worse for yourself, and you have expectations on people. Let me get to Brother Eric's comment where he says, or don't want to be saved. That's really what it is, man. Listen, become a Stoic. You can't become a Stoic overnight. You have to work on becoming a Stoic. It's just like, lifting weights to build up your muscles, to build strength. Becoming a Stoic is not going to take overnight. This takes time. As a matter of fact, I dare say it's going to take the rest of your life. You understand? Being a Stoic. You have to accept the nature of how things are and how people are not. Shout out to Lady Marla for giving me this information. Uh, I want to say it was yesterday about the theory of Stoicism. Quote, the concept of pneuma was central to the Stoic theory of physics. The Stoics denied the existence of void in the cosmos and instead regarded the cosmos as a single pneuma charged organic entity. All natural substances were organized into a hierarchy of classes based on the activity and degree of organization of the pneuma, At the most basic level was hexis, the state of inanimate objects such as stone and metal, which are simply held together by the pneuma. Organic things such as plants, which grow and reproduce but do not have cognitive power, were said to have husis as well as hexis. Animals which had instincts, perception, impulses, and a certain amount of cognition were said to have suki or soul, husis or hexis. The highest level of organization of the pneuma was the possession of reason, logos, especially characterized by the use of language. Now, here's something to pay attention to. Only gods and humans possess reason. Spiritual and intellectual qualities such as justice, righteousness, and virtue were considered to be portions of pneuma. End quote. Look, everything that's going on when it comes down to this whole Will Smith and Jada saga, to Russell Wilson, to you all's judge who you want to be on the Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson, or Jackson Brown, or whatever this Sambo's name is. Look, a lot of you, and myself included, I was once guilty of this. I wanted to see everybody saved, and you know what? A part of me still does. But the fact is this: everybody is not going to get this truth, and the reason why it's not going to get this truth is because they don't want it. And since I believe that this is the era of separation, what is the best thing to do? Best thing to do is to let people go. Let them go. This is the era of separation, folks. You understand? This is the era of separation. People don't want to be illuminated or enlightened. They don't want to do better. They're comfortable with their own delusions. Let them go. Let them go. I understand your concern for wanting to see people, but the fact is, we've reached a point, or at least I've reached a point in my humanistical growth and maturity. Tell the people what they need to know, and don't tell people what they want, and it's up to them to take it or let it alone. On the YouTube side, Sister James has a question. Why do we deceive ourselves? That's a good question. And here's my answer to that question. I think personally, one of the reasons why we deceive ourselves is because every single one of us on this earth, we have a, a quiet voice, an inner quiet voice. And that inner quiet voice tells us that we have to elevate ourselves higher than we are now. Excuse me just a minute. All right. My apologies. Now, and because we don't listen to that small, quiet voice, the fact is, we know when that quiet voice is talking to us, we know it's the truth. But we're too comfortable where we are, and we're too much of a coward, and we're too frightened to outgrow surroundings and to outgrow our family and our friends. It's the truth. Man, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but Brother Volo, what's good, man? Thanks for joining us. And you're absolutely right. And I was getting ready to quote that scripture in a few moments. Yo, Sister D, what's going on? Thanks for joining us tonight. And because we've gotten to the point now in which we're about 25, almost 25 years, a quarter of a century into the 21st century, where we're supposed to be the most enlightened and the most of all time, we still have primitive ideas. But unfortunately, in our morals and in our common conduct, we're still primitive. We listen, if we really want to be honest, none of us really want to be responsible for ourselves. We really don't. We really don't want to be responsible for ourselves. It's too difficult, and it's too much like doing the right thing. Remember, I said a few seconds ago that when it comes down to accepting the nature of how things and how people are, it's all about accepting the nature and not trying to change it. Brother V has already quoted tonight, and I still plan to use it from the very same book. But the King James puts it like this. The King James translation puts it like this from the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and the 14th verse. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? You all have heard me say time and time again, we can't continue down the road that we've been traveling. We can't. because the road that all of us are traveling down, somewhere we're going to have to separate. We're going to have to. There have been life lessons that I have presented to you before tonight that we all should learn, whether it's a do or don't, when it comes down to Will and Jada or Russell and Ciara. I have attempted to point out those life lessons. I have quoted other podcasters, other men, other women of the same ilk. But unfortunately, people still don't get it. And the reason why they don't get it is because they don't want to. And that's their choice. Being a Stoic means you have to accept things the way they are. And here's something else too. Stop putting expectations on people. Stop expecting people to be you. Stop thinking that other people are going to think like you and behave like you. That's not going to happen. Stop expecting you from other people. Stop expecting you from other people. Under Lady Marla's page, Giselle says, Giselle can answer that, Sister James. Evil is not without us. It has its seat within us, our inward part. I agree. Lady Marla says, both Stoics and Christians are the source of evil. I beg to differ. I really do. I don't believe that Stoics are the source of evil. Now, there may be Stoics that are non-Christians or non-believers. But in terms of accepting the nature of how things and how people are and how they're not. See, look, each time I go on the air and I present my argument and I present my case to you, let me ask you, the people, a question. Am I dogmatic? Do I present my arguments and my topics as if I am some truculent, totalitarian dictator? Do I talk to you in such a way that I'm talking down on you? Or am I trying to enlighten and illuminate you? Do I talk as if I want you to be able to think with me? And I know for a fact you're not going to always agree with me, but at least I want you to think with me about these subjects. In my argument, am I trying to share with you the truth? Do I talk to you as if, I'm better than you, I'm more enlightened, or I'm more illuminated? You know, or do I talk as if, look, let me attempt to try and help you and save you from getting all emotional and stop acting all erratic and stop being so foolish and putting all kinds of expectations on these celebrities because they bleed the same color blood as you. They use the restroom, wash their face, they brush their teeth, they put their clothes on. They do the very same things that you and I do. The only difference is that they're they're millionaires several times over, whereas we live paycheck to paycheck. And see, a lot of people, in all truth and in all sincerity, you can't put any kind of expectation on people. Huge mistake. People live vicariously through all of these celebrities. Why? Because they're not Stoics. They hate their lives. See, when somebody becomes a Stoic, that means they are honest with themselves and they don't hate their lives. They're not trying to live vicariously through other people because they understand that to live vicariously through other people, it takes away your ability to grow and mature for yourself. Who else is joining us here? Sister Earlene, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks for joining us. For those of you that are just joining us, welcome back again to another podcast episode of Yosef's Two Cents. I'm Yosef Isaiah Benjamin, and tonight we're talking about becoming and being honest with yourself. To be possessors of the truth. They say they want the truth. They say they can handle the truth. But from the way things are and from the way things are operating, do you really think they want the truth? No. If anything, they want to continue on in their delusions. You have to be honest with yourself. Before you can be honest with anybody else. I tell you something else too. Let me check something out here. All right, we're good. Look, you can't stop putting expectations on people. I'll say that again. And I'm being purposely redundant because too many times people refuse to adhere to what really needs to be said. Y'all are expecting other people to be you. You're expecting other people to think like you, act like you, talk like you. No. I was having a conversation yesterday with one of my coworkers. And this Yeah, he's up there. He's I think he's about 70 plus years of age. But this elderly gentleman said that people want you to agree with them. And when you don't agree with them, they'll get mad at you. They say you don't have to agree. You can disagree with them. But when you actually do and you oppose their stance, guess what? They get angry. But being a Stoic more or less means accepting the reality of how things are and how things are not. On the YouTube side, Sister James says, yes, because time has grown short. Listen, you have no idea just how right you are. Time is short. And I haven't said this in a while, but I'm going to say it again tonight. All of us are on borrowed time. Young, old, rich, poor, black, white, Jamaican, Hindu, Asian, African, Japanese, Chinese, Asian, Poland, Samoan. All of us on this earth, we are all on borrowed time. Thank you, Sister James. She says, we love your teaching. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's the truth. Let me observe Lady Marla's observation. She says, through influential missionaries like St. Paul, Christianity began to spread and gain recognition, despite the fact that the Roman Empire was predominantly pagan during the first century. No lies are told. No lies are told. But see, here's the thing. And you've heard me say this too. Eventually, even the Most High himself eventually walks away from you. And when the Most High walks away from you, eventually, guess what? He turns you over to a reprobated mind. Meaning, when a man or a woman is a reprobate, that means they believe wrong is right and right is wrong. So when you have people, and would you believe that people are still talking about this Will Smith, Chris Rock, infamous slap, and how Will Smith was treated by Jada? Listen, I've said this once, I'll say this again too. Will does not know how to love himself. Will does not have the most importantly, most high. Will does not have the Most High in his life. He does not know how to love himself. And instead of people still clowning this man, what they have to do, if they're intelligent enough and mature enough to do it, take what happened as a life lesson. It's plenty of life lessons involved. It's plenty of life lessons involved. One life lesson is from the Bible. the scripture teaches that no man should give his strength over to a woman. To paraphrase Proverbs, no man should give his strength over to a woman. And in the so-called lost books of the Bible, in the Apocrypha, it says that many men have erred or have sinned for the sake of a woman. But it's not just for any old kind of woman. It's for a toxic woman. Many men have put themselves over and above or beneath. They put a woman over and above themselves. And the scripture teaches against that. Now, I know this is something you don't want to hear, but I'm going to tell you the truth. This is something that you all need to know. You have to know it. Brother Eric says, I don't think there has ever been two people on earth who agree with everything all the time. And that's okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Look, life is all about choices. Life is all about choices. You can choose to do good, or you can choose to do that which is wicked. Let me quote one more time the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and the 14th verse. Excuse me just a minute. Let me get this out of the way. And it says, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? What does that tell you? Come on now. You can't you can't beat people, especially if they go up against what you believe in. And if you say you are a true follower of the Most High, guess what? You know as well as I do, this is the era of separation. Who do we have with us joining us here? Good evening, Miss Bianca. Thank you for joining us. She says, hi, Mr. Joseph. Stoic radicalism and inaction stoicism's primary differentiating feature from other varieties of Greco-Roman philosophy is its assertion that the individual has absolute over some aspect of their life and absolute powerlessness to affect others. Well said. Well said. Put it like this. Also, people's when people hear a certain opinion, I'll say, and especially if it's out there on the mainstream media, and they're pushing that idea and they're pushing that idea and they're pushing that idea, and everybody goes along with it. However, here's a question. What if, right, you run into somebody that heard that opinion, but they don't agree with that opinion? What is that person called? Is that person called an anti-Semite? No. Is that anti-establishment? No. The correct terminology to use would be called a contrarian. Let me get my phone one more time. Google, what is a contrarian?
Here's the definition of contrarian. A person who opposes or rejects popular opinion, especially in stock exchange dealing.
Thank you. What we have here are contrarians. Let's go even further. Not only do you have contrarians, right? Here's something else that you haven't even considered. You have people in the world that are actually an absurdist. What? An absurdist? Yeah, an absurdist. Sister Earlene says, preach art. Thank you, sister. Brother V says, to believe or not to believe. That's the tautology. And the proud papa, Brother Barron, says, that's my baby. And Bianca is the daughter of Brother Barron. That's what he means by that's his baby. And she's right. I just broke that down in layman's terms so you all could better understand. Now, Google, what is an absurdist?
Here's the definition of absurdist. Intentionally ridiculous or bizarre, surreal.
And here's the second definition of that word. Relating to or supporting the belief that human beings exist in a purposeless, chaotic universe. That is what an absurdist is. Did you know that some of you may be contrarians and absurdists, but you didn't even realize it? Did you know that? Look, let me go back to Lady Marla's observation. Let me go back here. She says, though influential missionaries like St. Paul, Christianity began to spread and gain recognition, despite the fact that the Roman Empire was predominantly pagan during the first century. You know what that means? I'm going to tell you exactly what that meant. Paul knew when he was converted from assassin to Christian ambassador, right? He knew for a fact that everybody was not going to be delivered, was not going to be converted, was not going to be illuminated. Paul knew this. And because Paul knew for a fact that everybody was not going to be delivered and everybody was not going to be saved, guess what? I believe he had the mindset, look, I'm going to preach, and whosoever is going to be saved, that's going to be between the Most High and that person. See, Paul understood his ministry, his assignment, and his role perfectly. And even in his own way, guess what? Even in his own way, Paul himself was a Stoic. Oh, it's kind of quiet in here tonight. Y'all didn't think I was going to get this deep, did you? It's all right. Sorry. Y'all didn't think I was going to get that deep, did you? I'm going to say it again. If you paid attention to everything that's been going on, especially with this whole Will and Jada situation and all the rest of these celebrities, I had some time to really think about this, right? And the reality is this. People have been arguing and people have been kvetching about Will and Jada, Russell and Ciara, and all the rest of these celebrities for a long, long time. Because they are living vicariously through them. And they hate their lives. They hate what they call their ordinary lives. But let me tell y'all something, man. A good friend of mine who works in the entertainment field. And he has told me that these celebrities, man, some of them, they hate their lives. They hate their lives. They hate living. They hate being celebrities. Yeah. Look, some of these celebrities, before they go out on that stage and they perform in front of tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of people, do you know what some of these entertainers have to do before they get on stage? You know what they have to do? Some of them have to smoke weed, smoke marijuana. Shoot, some of them have to snort cocaine. Or sometimes they take cocaine and they mix it in their drink and they drink it. Why? Because they suffer from a severe case of an inferiority complex. It's nerve-wracking, man. Going out there performing for all of you that spent your hard-earned money to see them perform. Going around on world tours. And some of you goofs are living vicariously through them. Now, you all are not goofs, but some of y'all are. I'm going to throw that out there too. And you actually are foolish enough to think that I'm jealous of these celebrities. I don't envy them. I don't envy them at all. Are you kidding me? Why in the world would I envy entertainers that have to take hits of cocaine before they perform? Or they have to smoke marijuana or take a drink of Hennessy before they perform? You seriously right now? You really think I'm jealous of that? No. No. Really? And let me throw this out here too. A lot of YouTubers, Instagram, those that are internet famous, internet well known, I guarantee you in 30 years or less, they're going to be forgotten. They're going to be forgotten. And here's another reason why I wanted to talk about Stoicism tonight. Look, this whole situation with Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union allowing for for Dwayne Wade's son to pretend that he's a girl, transgender, and then come to find out that Dwayne Wade's so-called daughter has a boyfriend. Peep this. Dwayne Wade's son says he used to be a boy, now he's a girl. But his boyfriend used to be a girl, now she's a boy. I think I got that right. I think that's right. Anyway, do you see how people are over sexualizing our babies and our children? Do you see this? And they are deliberately pushing this narrative. They are deliberately pushing that narrative. On the YouTube, Sister James said, you have some intelligent members over there. Listen, all of you have intelligence. You all are far more intelligent than these goofs that's pushing off this false narrative, trying to get you to go along with the delusion, what I call the delusional narrative of a boy being transformed into a girl and a girl being transformed into a boy. That's nonsense. It goes up against the natural order of things. It goes up against the natural order in which the Most High ordained it to be so. And it also goes up against the natural order of natural science. It does. Listen, the reality of the matter is this, ladies and gents. Once again, this is where Stoicism comes into play. Come ye out from amongst them and be ye separate. Come ye out from amongst them and be ye separate. Meaning, not only do you have to get away from them, because if you are a follower of the Most High, but at this dark hour, the Most High is calling for his sons and daughters to come up and out of the debauchery and the chicanery that continues to perpetually ensue. Here's something else. In addition to you becoming a Stoic, when the scripture teaches you to come out from amongst them, it also means you have to improve on your epigenetics. Ooh, I'm getting deep on y'all tonight, huh? Listen, man, that's just how I am. Lady Marla says that's right. Sister Earlene says Sister Giselle says, thank you, Sister James, from the YouTube side. Google, what is the definition of epigenetics?
Here's the definition of epigenetics. The study of changes in organisms caused by modification of gene expression rather than alteration of the genetic code itself.
And I'm purposely allowing you. And I'm purposely doing this so that you all can hear this for yourself. And matter of fact, excuse me. Let me do this one. Let me do this one more time. Wait just a minute. Wait just a moment. Let me do this one more time. Google, what is the definition of epigenetics?
Here's the definition of epigenetics. The study of changes in organisms caused by modification of gene expression rather than alteration of the genetic code itself.
Thank you. Now, in layman's terms, you are extracting your DNA either to improve it or to hurt yourself by what you read, by what you listen to, whether it's music, whether it's drama on TV or the internet. Everything affects you epigenetically. That's why I always encourage you to be careful with what you read, what you listen to, because it changes you what? Epigenetically. Let me see. Let me make sure. Let me make sure y'all hear me before I go on. See? You all up before I go on. Let me know if y'all can hear me so I can go on now. Let me know. Okay, good. Good. Brother Barron says, you teaching tonight. I see pens moving over here taking notes. Good. 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 Very good. Very good. Let me put this. Here. My Wi-Fi is acting up. Give me just 1 second. All right. Erlene says you better keep stepping on them devils next. I'm only doing what what the Most High wants me to do. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all can hear me. All right, good, 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 good. Praises goes to the Most High. All right, listen. I'm not gonna hold y'all for very much longer, but I had to get all this out. Yes, indeed, that's St. John 8:32. But I'm gonna tell you something about the truth before it sets us free. Before it's the truth sets us free, the truth is gonna make you angry. Then it's gonna set you free. I'm gonna throw that out there too. But yeah, do you understand the seriousness of what's going on here? That's why this was a subject that I wanted to go back and revisit, because whether I'm scrolling down my timeline and it's the same old, same old, same old nonsense. Men are arguing with women over here. Women are arguing with men over here. Y'all are arguing with each other. Look, all you're doing is just irritating yourself and running your blood pressure up. That's all you're doing. The Most High is not getting no glory, and you're not respecting him. You're not giving him glory and respect. You're not worshiping him in spirit and in truth. And this is the reason why a lot of people are not going on other people's platforms, because we can't disagree with each other without being disrespectful. See? Sister James says, we shouting over here. Mm. See, that's the thing. If it was a situation where, you know, and like Brother Eric said earlier, nobody has ever agreed on everything. And he's right. But even in our disagreeing, at one time there was a level of respect between the two parties, or whoever was that was talking on a given subject. What's happened? There's no respect there now. And that is a serious, serious, serious problem. There's no respect there. It's sad. It's real sad. But that's what we have here. That's what we have here. Lady Marla says we have to disagree. We have to disagree to agree and still love each other. See, here's the thing with that. I'm not saying that you're wrong. You're right. But here's the thing. Everything you just said, dear, that takes intelligence. And from the way people are acting, and from the way people are talking about certain things and certain people, Intellectualism is on a serious decline. Intellectualism, intelligence, is on a serious decline. It is. Very serious decline. Very serious decline. At one time, you could sit down in a civilized atmosphere and talk about any given subject. And we could disagree with each other all day, all night long. But at the end of the day, there was respect. We don't have that now. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, stop expecting you from other people. Stop expecting other people. Stop expecting you from other people. You're setting yourself up for a huge disappointment. It's the truth. It is the truth. Let's see. Brother Barron says, I disagree with my employees all day, but at the end of the day, they all say, thank you, Mr. Barron Susie. Exactly. Who else has just joined us? Apostle McGee, greetings to you. Thank you for joining us. She says, greetings to you, Rep. That is the truth. Yeah. Until we learn and we bring back respect, not only to ourselves first, but to for others, we're going to continue to go downhill. We're going to continue to go downhill. But being a Stoic begins with being honest with yourself first. And then going out and finding other like-minded men and women. That's what you have to understand, as well as accept that reality. In other words, you have to become a realist within yourself. And if you're not going to be a realist within yourself, and you continue to lie and deceive yourself, guess what? All you're doing is just setting yourself up for a huge downfall. That's all you're doing. I close with this. Let me say this right quick. But before I close, I want to say to all of you on the Facebook and YouTube side, I thank you all so very much for joining us tonight. Another podcast episode of the Yosef's 2 Cents. And on the Facebook side, like, share, tag your family and your friends. And on the YouTube side, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Yosef Isaiah Benjamin. And please, ma'am, please, sir, donate to the cause. My Cash App ID is $hidden one truth. That's $hidden one truth. Now, here's the thing as I close. All of your favorite actors and actresses, all of your favorite athletes, your favorite comedians, your favorite entertainers, I'm letting you know right now. They are human just like you. They do the same thing that you and I do. Use the restroom, brush our teeth, shower, shave, take care of our body, go to the doctor, eat, listen to music when they have downtime, you know, and you shouldn't worship these celebrities, because when you worship these celebrities, you're saying that's your God. Kind of like how some of these kleptogamists, these simps, worship toxic women and they can do no wrong. Kind of how hybristophiliacs put criminals on the pedestal. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. Google, what is a hybristophiliac?
According to Wikipedia, hybristophilia is a sexual interest in and attraction to those who commit crimes, a paraphilia in which sexual arousal, facilitation, and attainment of orgasm are responsive to and contingent upon being with a partner known to have committed a crime.
And that's why it is said that toxic women are sexually aroused by what the quote unquote Pookies and Ray Rays of that sort. Let's take a stab in the dark. Google, what is a kleptogamist? I would have to go to the Urban Dictionary for that. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Let's see. Do I even have the Urban Dictionary? Yes, I do. Okay. Kleptogamist. Oh, no, hold on. Kleptogamist. Let's see. Let me see if I were to type in the word simp. Okay. A simp means someone who puts toxic women before the bros. I'm giving it the clean version. Simps will do or say anything to please someone, particularly a girl, in the hopes that they will be in favor with that person. In other words, a kleptogamist is one who is a man that is very, very predatory Yeah, that's what a kleptogamist is. A man who is a predator that will pretend to agree with a woman in hopes that he has sexual intercourse with that woman. And a kleptogamist is that. And a hybristophiliac is a toxic woman who is sexually attracted to a criminal. Now, with that said, I close with this. You all have heard me say time and time and time again, we are not living in the best of times. As a matter of fact, the times that we are living in are both life-threatening as well as soul-threatening. Totalitarian society, meaning you have people that are using fear and dictatorship to control the thinking and the emotion of you, the masses of men, women, and children. And they are using fear, a fear tactic, to intimidate you into going along with something that you know is wrong. But they also know that you are afraid more of the consequences of not going along, and you are still willing to go against your principles, your morals, and your scruples. Case in point, I still see a lot of men and women too that are still celebrating and are still filled with jubilation and exoneration over Ketanji Brown Jackson, or Jackson Brown, or whatever her name is. I'll get her name right one day, just out of professional courtesy, because she has a horrible track record when it comes down to sexual predators, pedophiles. So it's symbolism, meaning that she's going to be the first so-called African American, so-called black woman on the Supreme Court. First black female on the Supreme Court bench who has a track record that is lackadaisical when it comes down to pedophiles. And I'm seeing that the battle lines, even with that, is being drawn. And the reason why it's being drawn is because I'm noticing something. The ones that's really are opposing Ketanji Brown Jackson, or Jackson Brown, whatever, ones that are opposing her are survivors of sexual molestation and rape. A large percentage of those who oppose her are survivors of that kind of abuse. A large percentage. Of you that opposes this judge. You know why? Because you don't want your children to suffer the same thing that you had to go. You have to carry that scar for the whole of your life. And listen, pardon my French when I say this. Pardon my French when I say this. But those of you parents, you men and you women that have survived sexual abuse, You have made it in your mind and in your heart that you will be damned before your child suffers the very same thing you suffer through. Am I right? Am I right? That is your mindset right now. That's your mindset. I guarantee that's your mindset right now. The men and the women that are survivors of being molested, you have made it in your mind that you will be damned before you let your child go through the same thing that you got to go through and carry the scar that you got to go through. You be doggone. You be damned. You ain't got to say amen. I know I'm right. I know I'm telling the truth. Because you know for a fact that if you don't speak out against what's going on, silence is betrayal. Silence is betrayal. And the silence of you that's not speaking out against this judge, you're silent about this judge who has a track record of being lax and letting these animals and these sexual predators off the hook easy. You're thinking to yourself, that's not going to happen to my son. That's not going to happen to my daughter. Let me tell you parents something. I'm not talking to the ones of you that oppose Ketanji. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the ones of you that are in support of her. I want to talk to you right quick. Your children are taking notes. See, let me tell you something about our young people today in this 21st century. Our young people are not stupid. Our young people are not stupid. Our young people are taking notes. They're taking mental notes. And see, your children are going to wind up hating you. You know why your children are going to wind up hating you? They're going to wind up hating you because they're doing the research on this judge. Don't think your babies and your children are not doing the research. They're looking this judge up. They're checking her track record. Our babies and our children are not stupid. And some of you parents, you know who you are. When you got a child that's going to ask you, Mom, Dad, why are you in favor of a judge that's easy or lets criminals get away with abusing children? Some of you Negro peons, some of you Negro Democrats are going to say, well, she's the first black African American woman on the United States Supreme Court bench. Your child has just lost all respect for you. Your child has just lost all respect for you, and they're going to grow up hating you. See, you know better, but you don't care no better. You know better, but you don't care. You know, but you don't care. And see, the battleground, the battle line, the line in the sand is being drawn at this hour. And it continues to. And down inside, you know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. Yeah, you know I'm telling the truth. And because you know I'm telling the truth, guess what? The reality is your children are going to wind up killing you. I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to advocate violence. But you got to understand, this generation is more violent than ever before. Our young people that's being sexually abused and sexually molested, they're tired of it. And before they kill themselves, they've decided they're going to wind up killing you. The ones that is actually doing the act, as well as those that enables it. And they also realize right then and there, they're saying within themselves, my mother and my father and everybody else that support this judge is not worth a damn. Forgive my language for saying it, but that's what these young people are thinking. That's going through this abuse. They're going through it. Hold on. Brother Barron says those parents either are sexually abusing their children or they're pimping them out to their uncles, boyfriends, dope dealers, landlords, etc. That's exactly right. That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what's happening. Apostle McGee says that should be the intent, not repetitive. Could you be more specific, Apostle? That should be the intent. Now, what exactly? Elaborate a little bit more on that before we go. That's exactly what's happening, Brother Barron. And Lady Marlin and I, we were talking about this not too long ago. Yeah, we were talking about this not too long ago. We sure were. And that's the reason why a lot of you are supporting that judge. You're molesting your own children, your own sons and your own daughters, and you pimping them out. That's why you're rejoicing in this. So I noticed something. I noticed something. Whenever I post up things that makes you laugh, I get 50, 60, 70 reactions. But when I post something up against this pedo enabling judge, y'all Negroes are just as quiet as church mice. Yeah, you Negroes are just as quiet as church mice. Don't think I don't be paying attention. Don't think I don't be paying attention. I notice this stuff. But see, here's the reason for that too. Here's the reason for that too. The reason why. The reason why that is because of all these reasons above. I had a nice crowd here tonight. The reason why that is because, number one, Facebook is restricting the number of viewers that sees my post. That's number one. And number two, the ones of you that do see it, your silence is betrayal. Your silence is betrayal. And because your silence is betrayal, you're betraying your children. You're betraying grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. You're betraying all of the young people in your family, as well as outside. That's what you're doing. And it's always church folk, those Bible thumping church folk. I didn't say those that are real followers and legitimate followers of the Most High. I said church folk, religious folk. Religious folk that call themselves Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, whatever religious affiliation you call yourself with. You ain't got to say amen. I know I'm telling you the truth. And this is the reason why I call once again for separation. I call for sovereignty. I call for stoicism. Because the people that are with, not against, but are with this totalitarian system, let them go. I say leave them to their own destructive devices. Erlene says that family silence is betrayal. Brother Barron says right and amen. So, during this time, in which all of us are living in, the battle lines continues to be drawn. Whose side will you stand on? Whose side? Whose side will you stand on? Are you going to be on the right side of history by being in divine favor with the Most High? Or are you going to be on the wrong side of history by being outside of the divine favor of the Most High? I'm done. I'm done. Well, folks, it's been a ball, but the clock on the wall says that's all for now. Thank each and every one of you on the Facebook and YouTube side for listening and for tuning in and for putting your 2 cents in. I'm Yosef Isaiah Benjamin. That has been my 2 cents. Join me next time where we can sit down and reason together and where we can explore some more hidden truths that everybody else is afraid of. Join me Saturday. I got another sermon for you guys. Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Like, share, and tag on Facebook. CashAppID $ Hidden One Truth. Donate to the cause. Once again, I'm Yosef Benjamin. That's been my 2 cents. Thanks for listening. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Have a good one. Peace. I'm out.